Ever wonder how our world transformed from sending messages in Morse code to chatting on the phone with friends across the globe? Let's travel back in time to the year 1876. It's here that a certain Alexander Graham Bell has an idea. An idea of a device that could transmit voices over long distances. Now that's an idea that's truly groundbreaking. But dreamers beware, having an idea is one thing, bringing it to life is an entirely different ballgame. Bell has a patent, a piece of paper that legally acknowledges his idea. But that's all it is at this moment, an idea. Still, he needs to make this idea a reality, to transform this patent into a tangible working invention, and he needs to do it quickly. The clock is ticking, the pressure is mounting. Bell's got this amazing idea for a device that can transmit voices. But it's not just a walk in the park. Fast forward to a year later, Bell's been sweating bullets trying to make his invention work. Picture him, hunched over his work table, surrounded by a chaos of wires and metal parts. His heart is pounding as he tinkers, tests, fails, and repeats. It's a grueling process, one filled with moments of despair and fleeting sparks of hope. Suddenly there's a shift, a flicker of something that wasn't there before. Bell shouts out to his assistant, Watson, using his prototype. His voice, filled with anticipation, reverberates through the device, and then silence. Time seems to stand still. But wait, there it is. A response. Watson's voice echoes back, clear as day. The room fills with a kind of electricity, the air charged with the enormity of what just happened. This isn't just another failed attempt. No, this is it. The Eureka Moment. Bell's dream, his tireless efforts, they've finally borne fruit. That's the Eureka Moment right there. But hold up, there's a twist. Bell's investor, Hubbard, wasn't too keen on the whole idea at first. He'd put his money on Bell, hoping for a quick invention to turn a profit. You see, Hubbard was a businessman first, an innovator second. He eyed the telephone with caution, unsure of its potential to disrupt the status quo. After all, the telegram was already a well-established form of communication. Why would anyone need to hear a voice when they could just read a message? But as days turned into weeks and weeks into months, Hubbard started to see the light. He saw Bell's tireless dedication, his unwavering belief in the telephone. He heard the excitement in Bell's voice every time he talked about his invention. And slowly but surely, Hubbard began to realize the potential of this new technology. He understood that this wasn't just about making a quick buck. This was about changing the world. But then he realizes this telephone thing could be huge. And where better to showcase this marvel than at the World's Fair in Philadelphia? Picture the anticipation in the air as people from all walks of life gather around, their curiosity piqued. Alexander Graham Bell, the man of the hour, stands ready to unveil his invention, the telephone, to the world. You can almost feel his heart pounding, the weight of the moment pressing on his shoulders. This isn't just any product demonstration. It's a moment that could change the course of history. With a deep breath, Bell picks up his device, clears his throat, and speaks into it. His voice, transmitted down the hall, echoes in the silence. A moment of suspense hangs in the air, then breaks as Watson, on the other end of the line, hears Bell's voice loud and clear. The crowd erupts in applause, their cheers filling the hall. Talk about nerve-wracking, but when he speaks into his device, transmitting his voice down the hall, the crowd goes wild. And thus, the marvel of the telephone was revealed. Soon after, Bell's telephone starts popping up everywhere, from doctors' offices to wealthy folks' homes. The early versions of the telephone were a far cry from the sleek devices we use today. Picture a large, cumbersome box with a separate earpiece and mouthpiece. Users had to literally shout into the mouthpiece to be heard on the other end, and the sound quality was, well, less than ideal. Yet, despite these challenges, the telephone continued to gain popularity. It was a novelty, a marvel of the modern age. It brought distant voices close, made the world a little smaller, a little more connected. The telegram, with its impersonal dots and dashes, was quickly becoming a thing of the past. Of course, like any new technology, the telephone had its fair share of skeptics. Some thought it was a passing fad, a novelty that would soon wear off. But they couldn't have been more wrong. Despite the challenges, Bell's invention takes off like wildfire. And on July 9, 1877, the Bell Telephone Company is born, paving the way for what would eventually become AT&T. Fresh off their success at the World's Fair, Bell and Hubbard are ready to take their revolutionary device to the masses. They established the Bell Telephone Company, a venture that would soon become synonymous with the very idea of telecommunication. In these early days, Bell Telephone Company faces its fair share of challenges. The technology is new and untested, the infrastructure is limited, and the public is skeptical. But Bell and his team are determined. They believe in the transformative power of their invention. They see a world where voices can travel across vast distances at the speed of light. Slowly but surely, the Bell Telephone Company begins to grow. It expands its network, improves its technology, and wins over the public. It's a long journey, fraught with difficulties, but the payoff is tremendous. The company that started with a simple idea eventually transforms into AT&T, one of the largest telecommunications companies in the world. Who knew a simple idea could revolutionize the way we connect? So there you have it, folks. From Morse code to crystal clear calls, Alexander Graham Bell's telephone changed the game forever. Picture a world painted in the shades of silence where communication was once limited by distance and time. But then, the telephone burst onto the scene, creating ripples that would forever alter the landscape of human interaction. It was more than just a device, it was a revolution in disguise. It bridged gaps, brought people closer, and made the world a smaller place. It was the genesis of an era where voice could travel miles, where emotions could be heard, and where silence could finally be broken. From doctors' offices to the comfort of our homes, the telephone became an indispensable part of our lives. It marked a monumental leap in our journey of progress. And all this, from the mind of one man, Alexander Graham Bell. Stay curious because you never know where the next big idea might come from.
What's your next step towards greatness? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's inspire each other to reach new heights. Until next time, keep striving.